Okay, well, let's go live now. Back to Mangunga, senior political reporter Ziyanda Ngcobo, been following proceedings since this morning. Ziyanda, good afternoon to you. Bring us up to date with the legal proceedings. A lot of court action, the political action happened after that. It's the legal action which may prove to be more important in the longer run. What were the main points of what happened in court?
Well, certainly, Stephen, some strict bail conditions set down for Secretary-General Ace Magashule, including in particular, Stephen, that he should not get into contact with his former personal assistant, that's Morwadi Chalota, who is now a state witness, as we heard from prosecutor Johan Denotion. And this was one of the strict conditions set down for Magashule and those representing him. And of course, he'll be reappearing in this particular court next year on the 19th of February 2021. And the state's really saying that they don't believe that Magashule is a flight risk because he's someone who's well known and really he would have nowhere to hide in the world. And really, Stephen, also, if I could just tell you about the people who were sitting inside court to support Magashule, it includes NEC members Mzwandile Masina, Tony Yengeni, and Pule Mabe, of course, the spokesperson of the ANC, all sitting inside supporting and not wearing ANC regalia, but presumably in their individual capacity in solidarity with Magashule.
So we have the strict bail conditions, the argument around bail and the amount of bail. How did that argument play out?
Well, certainly, Stephen, the Secretary-General is facing a Schedule 5 bail application. It was a Schedule 5 application, so that's a very serious offence. And so Magistrate Amos Moores actually had to take into consideration that because of the gravity of the charges being faced by Magashule, he could not, release him on the 20,000 rand bail that he was requesting. He pleaded poverty, saying he only earns 133,000 rand per month for his duties at Lutuli House. And of course, then the magistrate then setting bail at 200,000 rand. And the argument around that was that, of course, you don't want to set a bad legal precedent when it comes to how much, is charged. Of course, you know that bail is meant to be a deterrent for leaving the country, but Magashule has handed over his passport to authorities.
And Ziyanda, let's talk through the politics now. Various comments made by the Secretary-General, by his supporters. Perhaps the most important moment, though, really touches on the relationship between Magashule and President Cyril Ramaphosa. Some supporters, it seems, coming very close to booing the president when his name sort of wasn't mentioned by the Secretary-General, and at the same time, Magashule himself telling them not to boo the president. What did you make of that politics that was playing out there?
Well, Stephen, there are many aspects to it, and I'll first start off by reflecting on what some of the supporters here were saying. They were saying Ace Magashule is the incoming president, not that guy from Soweto, referring to President Cyril Ramaphosa. And that, Stephen, has remnants of 2005 outside the Durban Magistrates Court. Even the language that Magashule was using during his address to his supporters, saying, I will expose corruption at the right time. That sounds familiar, doesn't it, Stephen? Really speaking about the fact that only branches have the power to remove him, not an individual. No individual will remove him. And so certainly that has been likened to the kind of conversation or narrative that was pushed by former President Jacob Zuma, really. And when we talk about the politics then, it's never really ended well, to put it mildly, Stephen, when the Secretary-General of the ANC and the President are on a collision course. When former Secretary-General Kgalema Motlanthe and Thabo Mbeki fell out, Thabo Mbeki was recalled. When former Secretary-General Gweda Mantashe and former President Jacob Zuma were no longer on good terms, former President Jacob Zuma was recalled. What is to be made then of this afternoon's activities and the things that were said? And as you've already mentioned, the crowd almost very close to booing President Cyril Ramaphosa, and then Magashule saying, no, you don't want to teach bad politics within the African National Congress, almost to say that when you are aggrieved, don't then now also lash out publicly. And also, Stephen, earlier on, the scenes that we saw were ANC T-shirts being burnt, and Some coming out to say that this is not something new. However, there is history, and we've seen this before. But how will this end this time, Stephen? Only time will tell.
Ziyanda Ngcobo, thanks very much indeed for your live coverage there this afternoon. We can